Okay. Like the great Drake once said, okay. What's going on? There's a lot of negativity in the movie review space, but we can put that to the side and talk some hoops because, yeah, I am a movie review page, but we're also going to talk about some basketball today. I'm kind of looking through, making sure I'm getting my stuff done. We're gonna do an all-in-one stream. I know I said there's gonna be separate streams, but there was only one good NBA game, and I'm actually gonna get that out of the way real quick. Let's go talk about that. Obviously, we will get to Iowa and Florida, and we'll get to a couple of the other really good games. We'll be talking Tennessee, Virginia. We'll talk St. John's, Kansas. I think that'll close us out. Not really too many games to talk about. I know, like a lot of people running with the narrative, no Cinderella stories. Literally all three of the games today were by lower seeds winning. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not as much as it used to be. You don't see Princeton go to the Sweet 16. The highest seed in the Sweet 16, I believe, is a 9 seed Iowa, but no, Texas. Sorry, Texas is in the Sweet 16. But looking at the NBA, we don't have to talk about the Celtics. Let's just get into the absolute toilet bowl that was the Nets and the Kings because it was the only competitive game we saw all day. Malik Monk's late scoring flurry helps the Knicks hold off the Nets. They win by 4 in the final 5 minutes. I mean, Malik Monk was absolutely electric. Obviously, he was great at scoring the rock all game. And then you get Devin Carter, who's been getting quite a bit of minutes with this Sacramento Kings team, coming through, hitting some clutch free throws with 6.6 seconds remaining, and they get the victory. Yeah, Malik Monk, it's been a while since we've talked about him or heard about from him or anything, but he's a bucket getter. And obviously, Malachi Smith was making it tough. They have a lot of guys just straight out of college playing for both of these teams at this point. Again, these are teams that are kind of in the lottery. Dylan Cardwell is a really good dominant big. He should be good for a decent amount of time, and obviously like Nolan Traore on the other side as well. Listen, I don't really have too much to say about this game. We can just watch the highlights, talk box score. I'm in the process of watching the Final Destination Bloodlines. I'm literally like 45 minutes through. I have a little over an hour left. I will be finishing that tonight, so don't worry. I don't know when that review will come out. Probably tomorrow or Tuesday. I should be able to get some reviews out quickly because March Madness isn't going to be on again until Thursday. Yeet's dropping Thursday night. I'm so fucking excited for that. We will be doing a full-on video. But yeah, Final Destination 5, I dropped the review yesterday, and we're looking to close the Final Destination franchise out very soon. Obviously, here in a couple of weeks, we're getting Outer Banks. Fucking not Outer Banks. Euphoria. So I think I'm going to go back and do kind of a rewatch one episode at a time starting sometime this week. Yeah. I might just binge it with my dad. Me and him might just watch a fuck ton of it. I don't know, like if we have time, but I do kind of want to watch March Madness as well, so I'll probably have him kind of rewatch it. And then they're dropping an episode a week, so that'll be exciting. I know it takes place past high school, so there's like weird OnlyFans shit with Sydney Sweeney. I've been hearing rumblings. Obviously, they can't have. Who's the guy that looks like Mac Miller? Sorry, that sounds kind of fucked up. But that guy's not going to be in it because he passed away from an overdose, unfortunately. Malik Monk. Look at Malik. Okay. Well, tomorrow's going to be an all-NBA day, so if you're an NBA fan, come on over. We're talking the final stretch towards the playoffs. Today, there just happened to be like one good game, and it was against two shitty teams, so we were here to kind of talk about it. But yeah, the playoffs, I'm going to be locked in. I'm watching every playoff game this year. I usually don't watch like regular season stuff because I want to get my other content going, but we'll find time, to watch the playoffs this year, even the play-in, which is great. You look at the Brooklyn Nets, though. In the loss, you get an 18-point performance for Zaire Williams. He played really good, 67% from the three-point line. Very good two-way player for this team. You obviously get 17 for Nolan Traore. He played good as well, 50-40 shooting splits. 18 off the bench for Malachi Smith. He shot 75% from three and is a hell of a two-way player. Ben Seraph had 22, and he missed all of his threes, but hey, 50% shooting, and he really opened the floor for the bench squad. That's not too bad. Terrence Mann. The pickup of Terrence Mann has aged so poorly because, yeah, I like him as a three-point shooter, but that's really all this guy's ever brought to this team this whole season. And he's getting 26 minutes. Now, I know Malachi Smith and Ben Seraph got a fair share, but again, we talked about Or no, we didn't talk about Tyson Etienne. Shout out to Tyson Etienne, 14 points, made all 4 of his threes this game. Give him some minutes, man. And like you even have Chaney Johnson coming out of, where did he go to school? Chaney Johnson. Like Auburn. You have Chaney Johnson, bro. Like give this guy some minutes too. You look at the Kings. My boy Dylan, who comes in the stream sometimes, he's a Kings fan, so they got the dub, and we're talking about it, so that's really cool. 14 and 15 for Precious Achiuwa. Precious Achiuwa was a really good pickup for the Kings, I will admit. 22 and 10 for Maxi Moreno. He is the future at the big man position for this team. You get 10 points for DeMar DeRozan. Open the floor for the starting unit. A lot of bench play, though. 32 points out of Malik Monk. He opens the floor for the bench as a facilitator. You get 16 points for Devin Carter. He was hustling on glass, so you love to see it. Let's get into the March 23rd games because we have a good one starting out. Now, obviously, the Lakers are elite. They're absolutely fantastic, but they are facing off against the Detroit Pistons, who are the favorites out east, and they're looking, well, I'd say they're championship contenders. I don't know if they're like far favorites, but I think the Pistons are going to win this one. Orlando having a good season, and they're playing the team that basically has the highest odds at the number 1 pick with the Pacers. Give me Orlando. I know Philadelphia is a good team. They've been having a good season, but they are playing the title favorites with the Thunder. Give me the Thunder. And again, same with Miami. I know Miami's having a good season, but they come up against San Antonio, who are title contenders. Did I get bit by a bug or some shit? Whatever, dude. Give me San Antonio in that one. And the Hawks, through the win streak, get not a break, but like a nice little game here against the Grizzlies, who are tanking. They don't really have anything to play for, so the Hawks should be able to win that. And Houston's having a fantastic team. They're playing against Chicago, kind of down in the dumps. Chicago doesn't really have too much to play for at this point. Give me Houston. And then very much a tanking Utah Jazz taking on a good Raptors team. Raptors should be able to win that. I know Golden State kind of has a handful of games to recover and try to get back to 500, and they're playing a tanking Dallas Mavericks team. I think Golden State should be able to take that one. Same with Portland. Portland's taking on a lottery team in the Nets, and Portland have about a handful of games to figure it out. I think they could definitely get that done. Kind of a make-or-break game for Milwaukee, but I think the Clippers are a little more desperate to get over that hump with about 5 or so games to figure it out. I think LA is going to win. Moving on to the March Madness tournament, I'm not going to talk about NITs. I know like Illinois State made it to like the championship for the first time maybe ever, but we're not going to talk about any of that. First off, holy shit, a coaching masterclass here between St. John's and Kansas. Going into this, we knew Bill Self and Rick Pitino were going to do it. Crazy buzzer beater. I guess we could play the highlight. Darren Peterson's freshman season gets cut off early, and I kind of expected this. You know, I never really thought, and I got this right on my bracket, I never really thought the Jayhawks had it in them. I am pissed about Kentucky. We're not going to talk about it, but I thought Kentucky could have pulled it off against Iowa State, and they didn't. Glad to see Purdue still dancing, but we can watch this buzzer beater real quick and then get into some of the highlight scores. Again, this is going to be a pretty short stream. We don't have a lot to talk about. I will start previewing the first set of Sweet 16 games next week after these, so we can kind of look and see like if any of my picks are still in there and like who I'm rooting for my bracket. Let's watch this because this is like the big shot of the game. There were a couple of game winners from today's games, and obviously Bryce Hopkins was killing all game, but this guy, I'm not really sure if I've ever like really watched him play or like paid attention to him much, but I don't even know who that is. That was incredible. Rick Pitino is so like nonchalant walking off the floor. This is St. John's first Sweet 16 in a very long time. I think since maybe the early 2000s or late 90s. I don't know who they would have had. And this is pretty bad defense from number 13. I mean, you cannot get blown by. You know, that was really bad defense. Kansas fans should not act surprised, dude. I'm telling you, like, they just didn't have it in them to win this game. Glad I guessed it right, you know. Kind of a pride thing for the bracket. I know a couple Kansas alums from my hometown that they own Knapide, a big-time company where I'm from, so they're probably pissed, but, like, there's a couple people I know that go there as well. Looking at the Red Storm, I mean, Zubi Ejiofor, I don't know how to say his name, but he had 18 points, hell of a board grabber. And yeah, Bryce Hopkins is the guy to really watch in this tournament, man. 18, for this team especially, 18 points. He shot 67% from three and was just all over the floor, hustling, grabbing rebounds, playing very good perimeter defense. And then you get a 10-point game for Ian Jackson. I think he's the one that made the game. No. Who made the game-winning shot? It was Dylan Darling. Yep, Dylan Darling. He's from Spokane, Washington. Really good defender, too. Yeah, 10 points for Josan Sannon, so that's cool. The Jayhawks get a 12-point game for Flory Badunga. Badunga played really good. Badunga is pretty good, I will admit. 67% shooting, very athletic guy, can rebound, can block your shot. Melvin Council Jr., 15 points, kind of struggled inside, but he's a three-point shooter as well. He was hustling on the glass. Now, I know he had a lot of turnovers, but, I mean, for Darren Peterson being the star player, I think Melvin Council certainly had the ball a lot this game. So, 21 points for Darren Peterson. I don't love how he played on the interior, but he's a pretty good three-point shooter, and he's very athletic. He can get up and block just about anybody on the court. He had a really good defensive outing, blocking 1 through 5, playing at the rim against those guys and just hustling around. Just wasn't enough. Mr. Bryson Tiller. I love him as a rebounder, but he was not up to much. Pretty empty minutes besides the rebounding. Could have put anyone in on the bench. You have Paul Mbia, who's much more efficient inside. He can also grab rebounds. You have Cole Rosario, who is also a much more efficient offensive player. I mean, Jamari McDowell really didn't get much of a chance this game, but you have El Marco Jackson, who's an efficient scorer. I don't know. I mean, you can't have starters just to have empty minutes like that in the tournament. It all matters. Moving on, though, Tennessee stuns them now. This game didn't really matter to me because I actually had Miami, Ohio taking down Virginia, and it's actually crazy because if they would have won that game against Tennessee, they definitely would have beat the Cavs here. Tennessee reaches its 4th straight Sweet 16. Obviously, it's an absolute gauntlet of a squad in the SEC. They beat Virginia by 7 here in March Madness. Obviously, Jacoby Gillespie and Bishop Bowell are roommates on the road, and they suggested they spend almost every moment together, from the practice court to the weight room to social activities. So they're building quite a camaraderie. They're building quite a brotherhood for the Tennessee Volunteers as they move on to the Sweet 16 again. An SEC school, they are doing absolutely amazing. They hang on, they knock off Virginia. I wasn't really a big fan of Virginia going into the tournament. I kind of knew they were going to get knocked off early, but yeah. Jalen Carey. I mean, and the thing about Tennessee is they're just having fun. They're playing really good ball. They play a good ACC school, one of the best schools in the country, and they get it done. Obviously, guys like Chance Mallory made it tough, but like Felix Akpara, who I don't know how long he's been playing college basketball. It seems like a fucking minute. He was a good lob threat. Nate Ament blocking shots. I mean, they have such a squad. They have such a squadron of guys. I mean, this team they're pretty scary, man. 16 points out of Nick Amends. He's a solid three-point shooter. You get 10 points out of J.P. Estrella, made all 4 of his shots. Hell of a rebounder. You get 21 points for Jacoby Gillespie, who shot 60% from 3. Very good passing guard. And another good passing guard for them is Bishop Boswell. So, yeah, they have a really good backcourt. And they even have bench guys like Jalen Carey coming in, putting up 10 points, shooting 80%. So, again, look out for the Volunteers. It's not really a dark horse. I mean, a 6th seed should certainly make it. Let's see. I guess they shouldn't make it step past the second round statistically, but, they're still a great team. They're pretty much underrated because of how tough their conference is. You look at the Cavaliers. DeRidder, I don't know if DeRidder is going to go to the draft. He's a freshman. He's from Belgium. I think he could come back to Virginia and build something. I mean, he had 22 points this game. He was phenomenal. I mean, he was kind of their player to watch going into the tournament. 67% three-point shooting. Grabbed a lot of boards for this team. Obviously, Malik Thomas put up 12 points. Kind of struggled on the inside, but he's a solid three-point shooter. And then you get 10 points off the bench. Good minutes for Chance Mallory, hitting some threes, hustling all around the floor, both on the glass and on the defensive end. Jakari White after that really good first round game. I know he put up 10 points, but kind of struggled from an efficiency standpoint. Johan Grunlow, I know he's a very, Johan Grunlow, right? I mean, I know he's a very lengthy, good big man for them. He can rebound, he can get up and block the shots, but the offensive side of him was not there, was definitely missing in this game. And yeah, they gave Chance Mallory and Ja'Cory White more minutes, but hell, you even have off the bench who is a very good shot blocker and a much more efficient offensive player. So it would have been cool to kind of see him get more minutes. But nah, I'm not gonna make fun of his name. It's fucked up. It's probably something completely different and wherever he's from. But shit, I need to go back. Okay. What other games? I guess the only other game I care to talk about is Iowa versus Florida. I know a couple people that go to Iowa or have been there. Really awesome program. I mean, their school pride is through the roof. Their Greek life is through the roof. But man, this is huge. This is monumental for their basketball program. This is probably the best they've been in over a quarter of a century. And we're talking about a program that has had Luka Garza, the Murray twins. Let's just look up Iowa best basketball alumni. Let's see, right? Oh, shit. Sorry. Ben McCollum. I mean, dude, Bennett Sturts, bro. I probably could have stayed and watched him play in March Madness last year, actually, but I didn't. Who's some of their best? The best of all time. Luka Garza. Okay, these are old players. But, what is this page? Todd Nelson. Their history is pretty old, I guess. I'm trying to find some current players. Reggie Evans. I said Luka Garza, right? I said the Murray twins. Who else recently played for them? Aaron White. He played overseas. Joe fucking Wieskamp, bro. Joe Wieskamp was tough at Iowa. I watched him in the shootout. I watched him in my hometown play. Dean Oliver, Jared Uthoff, Peter Jock. I mean, damn, they had some guys, bro. I'm just continuing to look through. Adam Haluska, Roy Devin Marble. Heck, even Ricky Davis, I think we said, maybe. Greg Brunner. Jeff Horner. They had some legends, boy. But anyways, that's besides the point. But even through all those years, they haven't made a Sweet 16 since 1999, and they get it done. Iowa beats the number 1 seed. The defending champs, too. I mean, that's the big part of this all. They beat the defending champion Florida in March Madness when Florida debatably, I mean, maybe not a better squad, but pretty comparable. Alex Condon, Boogie Fland, which it really sucks to see Boogie Fland lose this early in March Madness because I love him as a college basketball player. But, Tyler Howe, I mean, yeah, Fulguera had a 3 in the final seconds. Alvaro Fulguera told Bennett Sturts he'd be ready for the ball, delivered in the clutch. Iowa prevails late. Insane upset. Where was this game at, by the way? Where was the actual game located? Tampa? Oh, okay. I was going to say, the people close to me would not have went to this game. Alex Condon, I mean, obviously Florida's insane. They're at the rim and their size is crazy. But Tavion Banks, there's a scuffle. People were kind of getting pissed at each other. It was a heated game. It's Big Ten versus SEC, which for whatever reason gets really intense. But I need to. I'm gonna watch how this game ends. We can talk the box score. Get Bennett Sturts. Let's see what Florida does to try. See what Florida tries to do. He should. That's unbelievable that Iowa fucking won. It's incredible. That guy should have tried to like do a little float or something like that, but damn. That's a bad loss for Florida. That doesn't look great. They had so much more talent than this Iowa team. I'm pissed, bro. I'm pissed they couldn't get it done, dude. Obviously, like the rest of the night, Arizona, UConn, Alabama got those picks right, so that's good. But yeah, man, 12 points for Cooper Cook, 67% from three. Kind of just a pure three-point shooter. Bennett Sturts, 13 points, really good rebounding and passing for this team. He was such a good transfer pickup for Iowa. We knew that from the start. Tavion Banks was unbelievable. 20 points, 70-50 splits, really good rebounding. 14 off the bench for Alvaro Figueres, who shot 60-50 splits. This team was efficient from the field, 51%. Now, the three ball wasn't falling, but man, they were efficient from the field, and a lot of rebounds for Alvaro there. This was some pretty good offense, too. The Florida Gators played pretty good overall on offense, too, but Alex Condon, great game. 21 points, rebounding, passing at a high level. 19 points for Thomas Howe. Not the most efficient offensive player, but he certainly got it done on defense. Such a tough guy to get through, and he was hustling all around the floor on the rebounds. He gets 17. I love Xavier Lee's story. There's a lot of guys on this team that I really, really rooted for in this tournament, including Xavier Lee, who put up 17 points, shot 50% from three. I'm not mad at how he played at all. Ruben Chinyelu definitely struggled in this game. You know, they gave Urban Klavsar some minutes as a much more efficient player, but you even have Micah Longden. You have Isaiah Brown, who's a more efficient offensive player. I don't know. They definitely could have played a couple of their guys more. I know teams get top heavy and they get like, oh, we need to stay with our starters, but here we go. March Madness, obviously the NCAA bracket. We can kind of check this out. March. I need to find who plays when. I don't know if there's games on Thursday, actually. I think there is, though. So game Thursday. Yeah, there's games Thursday. So, like, Arizona's taking on Arkansas. I have full belief that Arizona's going to win that game. Texas and Purdue. I mean, Purdue's probably going to win that game. It'd be cool to see Texas win, but I think Purdue's going to take that one. And then on the other side, we have Nebraska, Iowa. Neither of these teams, I don't even think I had them going super far, so that's not a game I'm going to care about for the sake of my bracket. Illinois, Houston. I had Houston beating Florida. No, wait. Fuck. Let me look at my bracket. So, I can just look at my bracket for the rest of this video. I'm 2.7 million ranked. So looking at the next round, Michigan State, UConn, that's March 27th. That's March 27th. Yeah, Florida, you disappoint me. No, Florida, I had winning in the Sweet 16, so I think my math's pretty wrong on some of these. So that really sucks. That game's not going to matter. The Houston game, I still have Houston beating Illinois. That part of the bracket's still right. I actually have Arkansas beating Arizona, which is insane, right? That'll be a fun game to watch because I'm very much rooting for Arkansas. I don't know if Arkansas has what it takes to do it, but I had to make myself a bold prediction. I have Purdue beating Texas, of course. Any other 26th games? I think that's it. We'll preview the rest. I guess we could talk about the others, like I have Duke beating St. John's. I have Michigan State beating UConn. I have, Michigan taking down Bama. And then I guess the next game wouldn't matter because Miami, Ohio. I would have had Miami, Ohio versus Kentucky. I picked completely different than what the bracket actually turned out to be. So that is going to do a nice 25-minute stream to talk about it. Of course, every single time there are close games for March Madness, we will be going over it. And I do think there's 4 games on Thursday, 4 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. So there definitely should be a lot of action to kind of tune into. I'm trying to see when it starts. 6:10.